All right, blessings. Welcome to Congregation Rehoboth. We are running a little bit late tonight. However, we're supposed to start at 8 o'clock, but we are a little bit behind, almost an hour behind, but that's not going to stop us. I know this is a late night transmission, and sometimes these kinds of things occur. And so I want you to go ahead and like this and then share it. Thumb up the video and share the live. There's a lot going on in our world today, y'all. Lots going on that we've got to be ready to always be ready to give an answer. And so we want to deal with all of these issues, but it's literally impossible to deal with everything. There was a Hebrew Israelite church that was vandalized, and people will not stop at any length to do violence. They thought it was a Jewish congregation. However, it wasn't a Jewish congregation, but it was a Hebrew Israelite. Now, there is a very, very interesting distinction there that I think we need to really understand and consider. Although these people who vandalized the congregation didn't know the difference between Jewish and Hebrew Israelite. And, that's where it's coming down to today. That's the kind of world we live in today, y'all. We live in a kind of world today where people don't study. They don't want to know. They don't want to study. Sorry about that. They don't want to study. They don't want to know the truth. They are basically operating on emotion. And because they're operating on emotion, we have situations like this. People aren't thinkers today. People have no concept of what is objectively true and right. Those kinds of words are a foreign language to them. And so those of us who are believers in the truth, Torah followers, believers in Yeshua HaMashiach, and Torah followers, we've got to stand in the gap. We've got to look, it's not enough to just be a quiet believer in your home with your family. And if I just keep quiet, everything will be okay. No, that is not the biblical mandate. And I know this kind of talking, this kind of teaching, it seems like it's gone out of style. It seems like, no one's doing it. And that's the reason why somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to talk about the truth. Somebody needs to have the truth, first of all. Someone needs to be living the truth. And then we need to begin and preach the truth. You cannot, I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot live a quiet and peaceful life. No. Not if you're following Yeshua. I want to say this very clearly. You will not lead a quiet and peaceable life. No, not according to the world's understanding. If you're out there teaching, if you're out there talking about the truth, if you're out there preaching the truth, if you are on the front lines, see, some of us like to be in the back. Yeah, we want to be in the back. We want to be unseen. We want to be unheard. We want to make our money. And, as long as I can get mine, that's the mentality. As long as I can get something for myself, then I'm cool. I just want a house. I want to be balling. I want nice clothes. I want to go on vacations. I want money. And basically, Yeshua is not your God. So why are you playing and just be true? Why don't you be truthful with yourself at least? You don't love Yah. You don't want to have nothing to do with him. And as a result, you don't serve him. And you don't serve him because you are, if I could be honest, you're blinded. And if I could be brutally honest, you're a fool. That's just the bottom line. The scripture says the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And watch this. You've got believers, so-called believers, who are living their lives as though there is no God. In other words, I call them practical atheists. Yeah, that's what I call them, a practical atheist. Mentally, they assent or they agree. But practically, they don't speak about Yah. They don't speak about Yeshua. They don't witness to their neighbors. They don't witness to their friends. They don't witness to their family, Lord forbid, because they want to get invited to the barbecue. Come on and go with me here. They don't want nobody to look and see. They don't want to be an outcast in the family. So what do they do? You keep quiet and you try to live a peaceable life. And all the time, see, you don't really love your family. I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep saying this. You don't love your family if you don't talk to them about the gospel. Straight up. You think you're doing them a favor by being quiet and keeping the peace in the family. You don't love them. That's not love by keeping a smile on their faces. You hate them because watch this. You know what's going to happen if they close their eyes tonight and you did nothing to save or to say anything about it. Well, I did. I spoke to him one time. That's not enough. The scripture, watch this. Here's a little grammar for you. When the scripture says, go ye therefore, the word go is in the present tense. That means it's a continuous thing that you do. You don't just share it one time. You share it, you talk about it. You're always talking about it. Every conversation for the believer should lead back to the gospel. Well, that's going to drive people crazy. Who told you that you knew enough to assess the commandments of Yah? You didn't create the commandments. We didn't have enough holiness to create them. But now you want to comment on how the commandments should be carried out? Shame on you. Shame on you for being a practical atheist. I'm gonna say it loud, because and a lot of these pastors, they won't talk like this. No, they won't talk like this. Why? Why won't they talk like this? Well, because they want to get paid straight up. They don't want to say nothing that's going to rock the boat, that's going to cause people to leave, that's going to cause people to hold their pocketbook tight. But listen, let me tell you, Yah has blessed me with a job. He's blessed me with a few of them. And let me say this, even if he takes those jobs away, let me say this, he will provide. Paul said, I've learned how to abound. That means I've learned how to live with a lot in abundance. And then Paul says, I've learned how to be abased. That means he's learned how to live with next to nothing. I want to say this. If you're connected with Rehoboth, Congregation Rehoboth, or Pastor Benz, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get someone who speaks the truth. You're going to get someone who speaks the truth in love. And the reason why I'm going to speak the truth is because I've been called to do it legitimately. So you got to understand that a lot of these pastors that you grew up with, a lot of these pastors that you know personally, they're in your family, they're friends, family friends, et cetera, you've been knowing a long time. Listen, based on your conversations, based on your ability to witness, based on your training ability, that's how I'm going to assess those pastors. Oh, yes. See, you should never talk about a pastor per se. You should pray for him. But you should look at the fruit that pastor is bearing, meaning this. You should look at who he's training, who he's discipling. And that is the kind of pastor he is. Yeah, in other words, if you can't pass on teaching, discipling, teaching people how to study. If you can't pass that on to someone else and then they take it, make it their own, and then have the ability to pass it on to someone else, you're not pastoring. It's a social club. It's a clique. We just kicking it. And I'm getting paid to do it. That's all. That's what we kicking it, and I'm getting paid to do it. You paying to kick it with me. Come on and go with me here. See, a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the bottom line to what's happening if you are not properly being discipled. All right, here we go. Now that could have been the lesson right there. Y'all know me. All right, guys, I'm going to lay this out for you tonight, and I'm going to make myself small. There we go. And I'm going to make the lesson large. Large and in charge. Here we go. Put it over here so you can see it. Absolutely. All right, so tonight is part 2 of our series called Life. Man, I got so many series that I'm trying to, deal with. I had the wrong lesson up tonight. I had Sugary, our S.A.D series, sugary, salty, saturated fat, American diet. I had that up. I had to remember that's for Shabbat. And so I'm going back to this lesson tonight, guys, that I started a couple weeks ago. And we're back around to it. Psalm 107. Psalm 107 and verse 20. Psalm 107 and verse number 20. All right, I'm going to bring some of you, and we're going to listen. I want you to have questions. I want you to, spend some time thinking about, what we're doing, the lesson, and how impactful it was. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to do some quizzing. A second here. If you give me a second, I'm gonna have some quizzes up, and so don't run off. Don't forget also to grab something to write with. Grab something to write with, and something to write on. You're gonna need it tonight. I pray. Now I asked you guys to have something last week, and I'm gonna test now. I'm gonna test. I am going to test. All right. So Psalm 107 and verse 20. Very short verse, one verse, but this one verse, guys, it is packed full. Here we go. The word of Yah reads. This should be the Lord. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go to the actual verse. Psalm 107, verse 20. Oh, it shouldn't be the. What did I have here? Hold on. Oh, that's verse 19. Oh, I see, said the blind man. All right. So we're going to read 19 and 20. 19 and 20. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Wait, that's not the verse. Let me read this one anyways. That's not the verse. Y'all, I'm like, I was looking at the verse, y'all, and I was like, that doesn't seem like the right verse. And it wasn't. But I'm going to read it anyways. And here we go. He sent his word and he healed them and delivered them from their destructions. Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he saveth them out of their distresses. All right. And so that was just an overview of really the importance of the word and what we're going to get into tonight. So turn with me to Psalm 139. That's where we are. Psalm 139. And how come no one told me? How come no one said, hey, we're not in that chapter? We're not in that psalm. Psalm 139 and verse 15. All right. Psalm 139, verse 15 and 16. This is where we should be. Psalm 139, verse 15 and 16. That's it. All right. Here we go. Psalm 139, verse 15 and 16. My substance, David the psalmist says, my substance was not hidden from thee. He says, I was made. Now, the Hebrew phrase, I was made, it's the same phrase in the book of Genesis when Yah says, and Yah created man in his own image. And so what I want to do is I want to make a one-to-one correlation between David and Adam. In other words, David and Adam, they were made of the same substance. In other words, let's just break it down. Let's break it all the way down. There is no difference between the physiology, are y'all with me? The anatomy of Adam and David. They have all 13 body systems. They have the same organs. Come on and go with me. As does we. Does that make sense? As does I. As we do, as we all do. Okay? So from Adam to David to us, we have the same physiology. We have the same 13 body systems. We have the same anatomy. Because why? We were created in the image of Yah. All right? And so I want to point that out. He says, I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my, some of your scriptures may say substance, imperfect substance. This says my unformed substance, yet being unperfect. Some of your Bibles may say, thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. Some may say, did see my unformed substance. And in thy book, all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. And so, guys, last time we talked about this, we dealt with this concept of self-esteem and digestion. So we asked the question, in other words, what does self-esteem, in other words, what does a healthy self-image have to do with digestion? I mean, it seems like these things are at polar opposite ends of each other. Can someone from last week, whether you're online or whether you are in the building with us tonight, welcome, shalom to everyone. Can someone tell us the connection between self-esteem and digestion?
Well, if you have a healthy digestion, you're ridding your body of toxins, and that means you feel good about your temple,
Okay.
and that shows that you have high self-esteem.
Okay. That is definitely a connection. That is definitely a powerful connection. Can someone remember another connection?
The gut is the first system that's formed at the point of conception, and every other system comes from that.
Absolutely. It's called the primitive gut tube. It's called the primitive gut tube. You guys should look that up. Don't believe me. I want you to pretend like I'm lying to you. Everything I said. It's called the primitive gut tube. And the primitive gut tube it's super interesting. This thing has really to know even your hearing comes from your gut. Your audio, that's why, guys, let me say this. Because the gut was the first organ system to develop, I dare say that whatever issue you're dealing with medically, physically, whether it's a lung issue, I wish someone would have told me this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, but there was no one on the West Coast. There was no one talking like this. No one talking like this, preaching like this. I didn't know about him. No one told me about anyone. No, not 10 years ago. Let me see, how many years? Zoe is 18, 15 years ago. No one was talking like this. In 2005, I didn't know anyone. But I dare say this. If you heal and cleanse the gut, if the microbial balance in your gut is healed, I'm gonna go on the limb, guys. You can heal your whole body. I should say, Yah can heal your whole body. Yeah. Because every other system flows out of the gut, which is connected to the gut. This is why, people, everyone, what you put in your mouth is extremely important. You can't listen. There is a due date. See, a lot of us don't think that, oh, nothing's going to happen to me. I feel good right now. But there is a due date. Now watch this. Check this out. There's a due date on those foods that you buy. And when you consume them, many of those foods are not even digestible. So guess what they do? They sit in your gut. And I'm gonna show and prove that a little bit tonight. But they sit in your gut. You think that due date, just because you digested, oh, you think the due date is now expired? What do you think happens to that due date? It just goes away? Oh, you didn't think about that. You didn't think like that, did you? You think that due date just goes away? Oh my goodness. You got milk with a date on it, right? Oh, let me hurry up and drink this before the due date. Well, if you drink it a day before, you think that due date goes away? How long do you think it takes you to digest milk? You don't even know. Because you never looked at we've never been even interested in looking up this kind of stuff. We've never even had the mindset of saying, you know what? Let alone look up to see a due date on how it affects our body, but we've never even bothered really to read the ingredients. We're just like a bottom feeder. Oh my goodness. We're like the unclean animals Yah said you can't eat. Bottom feeders, because we'll put anything in our mouth. We don't care what it is. As long as they put a little seasoning on it, come on and go with me. We'll eat it. All right. So after tonight, after these, listen, y'all, we got to just get down to business and just be honest with ourselves. And then watch, I'm going to keep saying this. We got to love ourselves a little bit more. Look at what the scripture says. The scripture says that we just read. Look what he says here. In verse 15, he says, my substance was not hid from thee. In other words, what David is saying is my substance. He's saying that as an embryo, I wasn't hid from thee. Because that's what the word substance means. As an embryo. Osmi. Power, bones, body, internal and external. My body, internal and external, wasn't hid from Yah. He says, yet unformed. That's what we talked about last week. The word gall me, right here, I'm highlighting it. Gall me means embryo or fetus. And a lot of people think they're, that they know Latin and they don't even realize. So this is what they'll do. They'll say, well, it's just an embryo. It's just a fetus. And they don't even realize what they're saying is in Latin, it's a baby, or he or she is a baby, a human. They don't even understand that. They think by calling it a fetus that they're dehumanizing it, Dodo. What they're actually doing is speaking Latin and simply saying it's a baby. Oh my goodness. That's why you can't just repeat what you hear without studying it. Do I sound angry? A little bit? Because I am. And there's nothing wrong with being angry. We're too nice. Nothing bothers you. You're even kill on everything. You think having a great attitude, you think being holy is having a great attitude about everything. You are deceived and foolish, and you're not even keeping it 100. If I could keep it real, if I could keep it 100, you think that being peaceful and even kill and not talking loud and not getting, you think that's being godly? Oh, no, you don't think it's being godly. You think that makes you look intelligent and smart when really in reality you're dumb as a doorknob. Oh yeah, I'm going in tonight on all these attitudes. I'm going in on all these misconceptions. Where do you get your idea of being who you are from? Huh? I'm curious about that. That's what I'm curious about. Who says that you can tell me how to act? I'm so sick of these people. I'm so sick of y'all. Look, I am sick of folk who attempt to keep it mild-mannered, cool and under wraps, but then watch this. When they get a little drink in them, when they get that little bud in them, they can act a fool. But then them the same ones that try to condemn me for going all out for my Yah. Well, guess what? You keep going all out for the enemy, and guess what? I'm gonna keep going all out for Yah. How about that? So we got these foolish people who don't believe in Yah, and like they could come up with a better idea. Really? That's why they don't want to talk about these issues. That's why, I realize this, guys. The reason why people call you, oh, I can't talk to you. I can't have a simple conversation with you. Well, I feel that, you just, stop all of that nonsense. The truth of the matter is you don't know what you're talking about. You get your information from other people. Yeah. You get your information from other people and you don't have any clue about what you're talking about. And the bottom line is you should either study for yourself or you should sit back and just listen and learn something. Yeah, that's what you should do. So they call babies fetuses, thinking that they're dehumanizing the babies. And so There was a lady in an article. Last week, I dealt with her first argument. This week, I'm going to deal with her second argument. Her first argument last week, if I can bring it up real quick. And I'm going to do this because it was just a flat out lie. Her first argument, right here. I'll highlight it for you. This is her first argument. She says being omnivores. In other words, she's saying that humans are omnivores, which is basically, you guys know what an omnivore is. It's a human, it's a meat eater and a vegetarian or plant eater, which is not true. It's just not true. Carnivores have certain characteristics and features which we don't have. Okay, we don't listen. When there's roadkill on the side of the road, we're not like, oh my goodness, that's delicious. Did you see that cat laid out with the guts hanging out of it on the road? That must have got hit by a car or semi. Oh my God, turn around so we can go and eat that up. No human has ever said that. But real carnivores, come on and go with me. Real carnivores will go back. Well, first of all, they wouldn't even pass it up. And they would devour that roadkill. Listen, you can't even look at the foods that these so-called carnivores eat. Chicken, beef. You can't go up to a cow. See, it's not natural for you to even be a carnivore because you can't even go up to cow with your physical features, with your physiological makeup, and bite a cow until it dies. You'll be biting you can't even do that to a chicken. You can't kill a chicken with your teeth. You can't bite into those feathers and get to that flesh. And then secondly, you wouldn't even want chicken without it being seasoned. Come on and go with me here. You're not a carnivore. So we need to stop playing this mental game and just admit the truth that you like eating flesh, meat. And that's the bottom line. Just say that. You're not a carnivore. But this lady says being omnivores. Now, I remember someone in this congregation tried to make that argument, just as foolish as all get out. They didn't know anything about science. I mean, I barely know anything about science, and them for sure didn't know anything about science. They knew nothing about health. And here they are trying to say that we're omnivores, trying to make an argument to me that we're omnivores. And so, of course, I demolished that argument like I'm doing this argument here with the scripts. And her argument was, again, let me read it. Being omnivores, humans are capable of having the ability. Now, capable means having the ability, the fitness, or the quality necessary to do or achieve specific things. No, we don't have the capability to be carnivores. Okay, guys? I showed that a couple of months ago in one of my first lessons when I talked about the anatomy of carnivores. I think it was eating by our design. We're not designed to be carnivores. Look at our hands. We can't rip into an animal and hold it down with our hands. A cow, we can't. I mean, we can barely even hold a chicken. We're scared of chickens. We don't have the teeth. We don't have the speed to keep up with real animals that will run from us like they do other carnivores. All right. So she says we have the capability, humans are capable of eating and digesting both meats and plants. So the length of your gut. So this was the first part I dealt with last week, the first part of our argument. The length of your gut falls somewhere in between a carnivore and a herbivore. I showed last week that is just not true. I showed you these two pictures, and our gut is actually longer. It doesn't fall between a carnivore and an omnivore. Carnivore and a herbivore. If you look at this picture and examine it, the human, this is a brother, y'all. He's just light skinned. This is a sister. Well, she's mixed. This is a mixed chick. Now, if her dad was a Hebrew, if her dad was Israelite from Jacob, then she's Hebrew. She's an Israelite. All right. Look at this. If you could examine this, the human digestional tract is 9 times its body length, 9 times the body length, which is quite longer than the digestional tract of a carnivore. So it doesn't fall somewhere in between. It's longer. As a matter of fact, carnivores and herbivores have this generally a similar or same length of digestion. So we proved that last week. We proved that first part wrong. Now I'm going to deal with this part. Digesting both meat and plants. I'm going to deal with digesting meats tonight. Okay. Now, it is a proven fact that we love meat. Yes, we do. But people can't tell you when they first started eating meat. When did humans first start eating meat? The reason why you eat meat is because your parents fed it to you. That's just the bottom line. The reason why you eat meat is because that is what your parents fed to you. And if you ask your parents, well, why did you feed me meat? They'll say, well, because my mom fed me meat. My dad fed me meat. And if you ask them, why did they eat meat? They'll say the same thing, going all the way back. Of course, until you get to the Israelites. Now, some of you are going to bring up, well, what about the feast days? Well, what about Deuteronomy 14 and Leviticus 11? Listen, those scriptures were not showing that this was their normal everyday diet. Okay? Leviticus chapter 11 and chapter 23 was not showing. As a matter of fact, in Leviticus 23, they only ate meat one time during the feast days. Passover, once a year. And special occasions. Meat was not their normal, regular, everyday diet. And so we got to get a handle on Israelite culture. Okay? And admit the fact that the reason why you eat meat is because you're simply, you like it. And we talked about last week, we talked about how well, not last week, but in one of our studies, we talked about this addiction to certain foods that have cannabinoids, endocannabinoids in them. And also, we did deal with the fact that a lot of the foods, well, especially, I shouldn't say foods, but meats that are eaten and consumed today, family, they are cancerous. When you put a fire to those meats, when you cook them, because you, especially chicken, because you have to cook out all of the impurities, you have to bring it to a certain level to cook out salmonella and other bacteria that can kill you. When you cook meat at these high levels, they have what is called, who remembers what the meats have in them? Anybody remember? Heterocyclic amines. You got to write this. You got to write these things down. Now, let me show you this really quick, because I'm dealing with her argument that we have the capability of digesting both meat and vegetables. Now, I would say that's not true to both of those. We know we don't have, I'm going to prove tonight we don't have enough, we don't have the ability to digest meat. And I would say some vegetables. Now, there are a lot of fruit that people label as vegetables, but they're really fruit. But tonight we're going to deal with the digestion. And so I want you to see this real quick. I'll make this a little larger. Yeah, let me make this a little bit larger. All right, so let's deal with pH. So does anyone know what pH stands for? Howard. Anyone know what the H stands for? Hydrogen. Powered hydrogen. Okay. So the pH of carnivores, the carnivore stomach after eating a meal is less than or equal to 1.0. That is highly acidic. Okay. Comparable to a car battery acid. That's how acidic it is. The pH level of a carnivore's stomach, the hydrochloric acid inside of a carnivore's stomach is 1.0. This is another proof that we're not carnivores, family. Okay, I'm going to show you what ours is, which it ranges between 0.8 to 1.0. Okay, that's necessary because, again, they're eating raw tissue loaded with bacteria and pathogens, so their pH level has to be higher because they're true carnivores. Okay? The pH level in humans, in the human stomach, is closer to 1.5 to 2.0. Now you may say, well, that's not a lot. That is a lot compared to animals. Now, let me show you this. Remember, we're talking about, here's our argument again. Oh, this is going to be my different argument. Well, let me read this. She says DNA evidence stretching back 300,000 years suggests that humans have been continually evolving and adapting to their environments. Thus, as humans are always responding to surrounding conditions, the logic, watch this, that your body was originally designed to eat a certain food and must stick to it doesn't stand. Really? Okay, so that's her argument. So watch this. She says that your body was originally designed to eat a certain food. So she's dealing with the original design of the body. Yet we read in David in Psalm 139, verse 15 and 16, it says that I made you, watch this, guys, I made you in secret. I formed you. And then we got to deal with, well, what did he form David? David said, I was made. What did he form David to be able to do? Well, a lot of things. One of the things was to be just like Adam, number one. And we know that that Yah created Adam to eat, Genesis 1 and 29, the fruit of the earth, of the tree, the fruit of the tree with the seed in it. We know that. That was the original design. But here, she's making an argument that the logic that Yah created us to eat one kind of food, and she says it doesn't stand because we've had to evolve over the years. Well, I would like to know, what does she mean by evolved? See, this is the problem, guys. With a lot of these people, they don't define terms. They leave it up to you to define what evolving and adapting means. Does that mean that our digestive system evolved? Well, what does she mean? She doesn't say. Okay, what actually evolved? Well, we'll never know because in the article, it's not defined. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just deal with what she said. So let me show you something. Here is the pH level of all these different things. Look at it. Check it out. Notice when you go to the left, the human stomach acid is somewhere over here, 1.5 to 2. But remember the car battery? Carnivores are somewhere over here in the red, 0.8 or 0.5, I think, to 1. Now you may say, oh my God, that's not that hard. But look at a lemon. The lemon is a 2. You see that? But see, what people don't know about lemons and other citrus fruit, it's not about the pH level sitting by itself or before we digest it. I want you to look up our lemons alkaline or pH after digestion. I'm sorry, not alkaline or pH, alkaline or acidic after digestion. They're alkaline. So even though it's before digestion, it's acidic. A 2, that's a lot. But once we consume it, the metabolic process changes it to become alkaline or less acidic or not acidic at all. Look at vinegar, super acidic. Look at this tomato, coffee, super acidic. You guys see that? Do you see how acidic it is? Look at milk. Milk is even more acidic than coffee. You see it? Just check it out real quick. You see that, family? Very interesting, isn't it? And many look at all this stuff. Our blood, look at our blood. Our blood should be at this, it's almost at an even. I think that our blood should be at a 7 or 8 on the pH scale. And everything in our bodies, see, this is why, guys, this is why if you eat foods all the way to the left, you consume too much of these foods that are all the way. Look at water, a 7 on the pH scale. Water is more acidic than coffee or milk or vinegar. Now look, go all the way to the other side. Look at bleach. This is the alkaline side. Once you start going all the way to the right, it's the alkaline. Look how alkaline bleach is. You see that? Look how alkaline ammonia is, baking soda, soap, alkaline. And so watch this. Our blood in our bodies must, this is Yah's design, guys. The blood in our body have to be at a 7 or 8 pH level at all times. That's what the body is. That's what the body is working for. And watch this. The more foods that you eat that are on the left side, what you're doing is you're threatening your blood from being acidic. Now, what happens when the blood is too acidic? Diabetes, all kinds of stuff. Kidney failure, heart disease, what is it called? When your heart beats fast, it's tachycardia, all kinds of stuff, confusion, fatigue. Now, remember the story of Isaac? Remember the story of Isaac, guys? When he was ready to bless Esau? Can someone tell me the story, what happened in the story of Isaac? Because look at these conditions here. Look at these conditions. I want you to see this. When your blood level is too acidic, what happens is you can have kidney problems. You could even have eye problems. Oh, yes, when your blood is too acidic, you can have eye problems. You can have confusion. So let's just deal with those two. Eye problems and confusion when it comes to acid, too much acid or acidosis in the body. Now go to the story of Isaac when he was going to bless Esau. Can someone go there? Can everyone go there, please? But I want to show you something that I think we missed. I think it's in Genesis 27. Genesis 27. And we're coming up on this story in a little while in our parsha. But we're going to look at this thing tonight because I want us to have a head start. And I'm going to close it out with this. I just wanted to show you that tonight. But I want to show you what is going to happen or what can happen. Now I want you to see this. I want you to see this story real quick. Let's pick through here real quick. Verse 1 says, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim. His eyes were dim. I want to show y'all something. This is a very key element in the story. If you're able to write this down, I want you to write this. Isaac's eyes were dim. What do you think that means? This is a very key point. I'm going to show you this real quick. This is going to blow your mind, y'all. Watch this. See, we think that watch this. I want to show y'all this. Oh, yes. Look at this. Watch this, y'all. I'm about to show you. See, y'all think this stuff is not serious. And I'm going to make this connection with Isaac's eyes being very dim. And you know, they say in the medical field that the eye is cloudy. Now, I'm going to look up this word dim real quick because I want to see that Isaac was old and his eyes were dim. Now, a lot of people will say his eyes were dim because he was old. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Slow your roll. That's an assumption. That's an assumption. Look at this. Look at this. To grow weak, to grow dim, to grow faint, falter, be weak, be dim, be darkened. That's cloudy. To be restrained, to be faint, to fail, to grow dim, to grow faint. But I want to take this to be darkened because that's what happens when a person has cataracts. Their eyes dim, they get cloudy, and they're no longer able to see. Now watch this research. See, this is when you see a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. They're just making assumptions. But you got to do research. Watch this. Hold on. Hey, I just saw it. Where did you go? Oh my goodness. Serious? Oh, here it's right in the title. It's right in the title. Familial, and let's say this word together. Cardio. See, this is what it's called this is a medical term. So cardi is the heart. O is a connecting letter. Myopathy. Okay, cardiomyopathy with cataracts and lactic acidosis. Okay, so what they're saying is the reason why people get cataracts is due to there's a connection between lactic acids, having too many acids in your system, in your bloodstream, and cataracts. There's a connection. Now, you can read this and research this connection all you want. But I want to tell you that in this story, I'm going to show you why Isaac's eyes were dim. Okay?
I think I know.
Okay, go ahead.
Say Isaac loved Esau because he liked to eat of the game of the field.
Come on, Sister Benz. Come on, look at verse 4. Actually, look at verse 3. Look at verse 3. Now, therefore. Okay, but wait, let me go. Let me read. I'm so excited. I'm rushing. Hold on. He called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am, the son said. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. And no one knows that. Now, therefore, he knew he was getting close, though. He says, now, therefore, take, I pray, thy weapon, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out in the field, and watch this, and take me some venison. In other words, he said, look, my last supper, I don't want vegetables. I don't want anything healthy. Isaac said, for my last meal, my last supper, I want me some venison. I want some meat. Watch this. And make me savory meat. Because, we can't just eat venison or meat. We need to have, seasoning. It needs to be seasoned. It needs to be, that's another reason why we're not carnivores. Make me some savory meat, such as I love. Now, watch, this is important now. Such as I love. Look at the language that is being used with food. I'm gonna deal with this lesson. Oh, this is another lesson. What changing your relationship that you have with food. Oh my God. Come on. You got to change. You got to change your relationship, baby. Look at this language. Such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee. What? Before I die. So we see here, he already wanted meat. He already was used to eating meat. Now watch this. Let's go back to the fact that confusion, what do we say? Confusion and cataracts. We already showed you the cataracts with the research. Now we're going to show you the confusion. So let's go back. So look at the mama. She got involved. Nosy mama, all in the business. Rebecca heard what Isaac said, eavesdropping, and it's somewhere she ain't supposed to be, doing too much. Cataracts, yeah, cataracts. Yeah, cataracts.
The verse I was referring to earlier was Genesis 25:28.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me go there then. Hold on. Genesis 25.
Start at 27.
Okay. Okay. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his. Oh, here it is. Look, it proved it. He did eat. Now watch it. I guarantee you. Watch this. Now we're gonna get into the grammar. A pain. That's what this word is. But a pain. Bapine, sorry. Bapine. Hold on. How come it's not giving me the verb? Because that should be a verb. Because he did eat. Hold on. Huh. They doing some trickery with me. They're not showing me the verbs. Hold on. He did eat. That should be verbal. Why is it showing? Huh. Okay, well, let me go to love because he loved. Oh, wait, but Rebecca loved. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back to it. But we can gather that verse 28 because he did eat of his venison. We know that it wasn't just one time. This was something that he was in a habit of doing. Now, let's go back to 27 because I want to show you when Isaac got ready to bless Esau, what did Jacob do with his mama's help? Look at verse 7. Bring me venison and make me savory meat that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now watch this. I'm going to show you something. Look at verse 11. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, behold, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father, peradventure, will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver. He said, wait a minute. My daddy ain't going to believe this. But what Jacob didn't know was that he was filled with acid in his bloodstream. Because we know that meats, animal flesh, when we consume it and we metabolize it, it creates uric acid. Look it up if you don't believe me. There's uric acid. Look it up. Look at this, verse 13. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took godly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. Now let me get to the nitty-gritty. Verse 17. And she gave the savory meat and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came into his father, watch this, and said, my father. He said, here I am. Who art thou? Okay. Wait a minute. He only got two sons. You don't know their voice? Come on now. Look at all the confusion setting in. Come on and go with me here. Verse 19. And he said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn, and I have done according to thy, thou badest me. And some of y'all was going to say baddest. That's badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison. that thy soul may bless me. Look at Isaac. Look at all this confusion with Isaac. He already couldn't tell his voice. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. Confusion. How could you have found it so quickly? He knew this wasn't the normal time, but he should have said, wait a minute. If he would have been in his righteous mind, he would have been like, nope, this is not right. What's going on? But let's continue. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee. Remember, his eyes were dim. He had cataracts. He couldn't see. Here's further proof that he had to feel him. He couldn't see him. And whether thou be my very son Esau or not. Confusion. Because of, watch this, because of lactic acids and uric acids from eating flesh. And watch this. And he discerned him not. Okay, let's look at what discern means. I'm going to show you the confusion. See, y'all, look, we ain't playing with this. Hold on. He discerned him not. Let's get the grammar first. It's in the verb, so Hifil's in the perfect tense. That means that, that this action came to a completion, that at some point, Isaac could not discern who he was. Couldn't do it. It's in the perfect tense, but it's in the Hifil, which means it's causative. Now, what caused him to not be able to discern? Well, what does discern mean? He couldn't recognize, acknowledge. No, he couldn't know. Confusion. Look at this. Look at the Hifil. He couldn't regard, observe, pay attention. 2, pay regard, to notice. He couldn't even notice him. Confusion. Couldn't recognize him as formerly known. That's confusion. He couldn't perceive. Confusion, y'all. Well, where is this confusion? What's the cause of this confusion? The venison that he was eating. Some people say, well, it's because he was old. No, no, no. We can't say that because the text is speaking to us. And the text said, come near and let me feel you. Let me touch you. Because his eyes were dim, and it wasn't because he was old. It was because he was eating all that venison. Look at this. He couldn't understand. Here you go. Confused. You see that? Now, what kind of person is going to continue to eat something that's going to destroy their eyesight and their ability to understand? I mean, you mean to tell me that he couldn't tell that Jacob had a carpet on his back? And when he touched it, he was confused. He still didn't know. Come on, y'all. So watch this. Let's go back to our pH level, our pH scale. Go back to our pH scale. Meat is way over here. Carnivores, their stomach acid is way over here. Humans is right here. Now, you may say that's not really a difference between this and that. There's not really a difference. Well, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference, guys. When we talk about stomach acids. To the left of the chart is acidic, things that are acidic, coffee, milk. To the right, things that are alkaline. Yes, you can die from alkalosis. That means being too alkaline. Go drink you a bottle of ammonia and see how long you live to tell about it. And so what happens, the Abba Yah wants you to be in shalom, in balance, in homeostasis. Scientific word, homeostasis. But shalom in Hebrew means he wants you to be even. He wants you to be balanced, at peace, at ease, not dis-ease. Come on and go with me. Now, let me show you something. What kinds of acids does animal flesh have? Good question.
Repeat the question again, sir.
What kind of acids does animal flesh have? Now, see, let me say this. For everybody, we're going to get back to that question. Let me deal with this first question. How many of you would sit up and tell people, well, the reason why I eat meat is because of proteins. I need protein. How many would say that? Now,
That's what everyone used to say without knowing that the meat is not really providing the protein.
let me answer this question. What is protein? What are proteins? What are proteins? Since we need proteins from meat, what are they? What are proteins?
Molecular structures within food.
What is that? Let me ask it a different way. What are proteins made of?
Amino acids.
Come on. But watch this. Meats, animal flesh, they have complex amino acids. See, your body is not capable of breaking down complex amino acids. And that's what animal flesh is made of. Not simple amino acids, but complex amino acids. See, we got to really understand. Let me say this. I didn't understand this. For those of you who think, I'm Mr. Know-it-all, no, I'm not. I'm going in on finding out, number one, why these doctors been lying to us. Come on and go with me. Number two, I'm going in on how come ain't nobody told me about this in all my years of living. How come we couldn't learn this in the Bible study? Huh? Number three, I got some issues that I don't want anyone in the congregation to ever have to deal with. And then number three, I'm dealing with these issues right now. And so I got a whole lot of motivation for somebody to tell me I'm tired of hearing this. Who are you? And who cares what you think? Sit down and go get up under a pastor and shut up and learn. Okay? So they're amino acids, right? Well, what kind of amino acids? Well, they're complex amino acids. See, when people start talking out of the side of their neck and don't know what they're talking about, makes me so angry. Righteous anger. They act like they know what they're talking about. Yeah. Now, this is going to be very interesting to you. Because these complex amino acids are not just in meats, they're in dairy as well. See, oh my, and we just continue. We just continue. See, I need to. This is so important, y'all, because complex amino acids, they will have, listen, there are 4 major organs that need addressing. I shouldn't say organs, but I'm going to say systems. Systems and organs. Number 1, do you know what happens when you're with your lymphatic? First of all, can someone tell me what the lymphatic system is? What is the lymphatic system? So the lymphatic system is the sewage system of the body. It helps you to eliminate things that you consume. Okay, so what are the 5? I should call them the 5 keys to the kingdom. There's consumption, what we eat or drink. The moment it goes across our tongue, goes through our lips, over our lips, to our tongue, we swallow it, we digest it. It goes into through the duodenum. It goes through the duodenum into the stomach, where we have our stomach acids, which is about a 1.5 to 2. Okay, you can see it up here, stomach acid. Then we have, once it goes into the duodenum, guys, that's where, so we have consumption, we have absorption. All of your absorption happens in the duodenum. Most of your absorption happens in the duodenum. That's a 9-inch tube from your stomach that goes to your intestinal tract. Most of the in other words, absorption is your body taking the nutrients out of the foods you ate. Now, guess what? Many of us, no, not us. Many of you are mineral and nutrient deficient, and your body is having all these symptoms. You're tired. You're sluggish. You don't want to do anything. You have no energy. You have headaches. All these kinds of things because your body is heavily acidic. And you're not getting the nutrients you need from absorbing the foods you're eating because your foods are not nutrient dense. In other words, they don't have a lot of nutrients in them. So there's nothing to absorb. So once your body tries to absorb whatever nutrients are in those foods you're eating, then your body tries to utilize them. So you have consumption, absorption, now you have utilization. Well, what does utilization mean? Well, utilization means that now your body is going to use those nutrients to heal your body. If you got a cut, or if you have something wrong with you, if you're catching a cold, or whatever the case may be, the nutrients that you eat from the foods are going to help your body utilize them and help your body to perform and function the way that Yah designed it to. But many of our bodies are not designed, and many of our bodies are not functioning like they designed it to. And I'm going to tell you why, or they in the future will not. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're eating too many foods that are acidic. And watch this, the blowback. See, here's the thing. You don't know when the blowback is coming. You don't know when. You want to know why our children are dropping and having all these issues and dying on football fields and dying on our basketball courts? You want to know why? Their diet. Their bodies are nutrient deficient instead of dense. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what's happening. You want to know why our children in elementary schools have diabetes and have heart failure? And we just going along, going to McDonald's, going to get pizza, going to get hamburgers, going to get all of this crap that listen, family, stop trying to make your kids happy. Stop it. Stop trying to keep a smile on their face and start showing them real love and teaching them and saying, listen, y'all, we need to stop. Cold turkey. No pun intended. I should say cold. What's a vegetable I like? Cold greens. Cold greens, y'all. Cold greens. Stop. I'm telling you, you don't want to see your kid pass out on the court. How you know it's not going to be your kid? You don't want to see your kid pass out doing like fun activities. Going to Great America. You want to see, oh, that's not going to happen to my kid. Oh, no, not mine. How do you know? How do you know? The lymphatic system. Listen carefully. The reason why the body is full of acids is because the lymphatic system is supposed to take all of the acids, run them through your digestion system so that you can eliminate them. After you have utilized them, now it's time for elimination. Do you know that your urine is supposed to be acidic? Or it is acidic? Why is it acidic? Because the lymphatic system is working and is helping you to digest the food. Do you know what level of acidity on the pH scale your urine is? It's somewhere in between coffee and baking soda, between a 5 and 8 or 5 and 9, maybe like a 6. So it's probably like milk. The acidity level is like milk. But a lot of times our urine is not acidic to that level. You know why? Because we're not urinating the acids out. And let me tell you this. What's happening is that there's an acid buildup. Now, I'm closing when I say this. Can someone tell me, what does the body naturally send to an area that has acid buildup?
Mucus.
You're close. It has a mucus effect, but it doesn't. Wait, what was my question? I said, was it automatically send to the acid? I mean, yes, send to the acid. Mucus does happen, but it's not sent to the acids. You're close though. It has something to do with the gut. Bacteria. It sends bacteria. Listen, y'all, bacteria eat acids. Now watch this. When you have an overabundance of acid in your body, in the bloodstream, and those acids begin to attach themselves to certain vital organs, guess what the bacteria is going to do? The bacteria is not going to run up in the house and say, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to kill you, you, and you because y'all wasn't at the party. The bacteria is going to do like a drive-by and spray up everybody. In other words, the bacteria is going to eat up the acids that's attached to the organs. then you got all kinds of diseases. I'm telling you, listen, man. So watch this. Because the body is so full of acids, because of the meats, because we weren't designed to eat that stuff. Listen carefully. We saw it in Isaac. He was confused. His eyesight started to go. He couldn't see who his son was. Come on, y'all. You think you can live without your eyes? You want to risk that? Oh, I've been eating it all these years. Ain't nothing happened, so I'm good. Hey, really? Is that loving yourself? See, this is why we got to be careful, family, when people say they love you. They don't love you. And we got to keep it 100. If you don't love yourself enough to take care of yourself, once you know, how can you love someone else the way Yah wants you to love them? You can't. It is impossible because you're demonstrating that you don't even love yourself the way Yah wants you to love yourself. So what does this have to do with self-image? Well, let me bring it home. When your body, again, we're talking about the gut, and we're talking about the bacteria that's sent. If you're eating foods, guys, that causes your acidic level in your blood to go high, which is called acidosis, guess what's not going to function healthy? Your gut. And when your gut does not function in a healthy way, it's not going to send serotonin. It's not going to work. Well, what's so important about serotonin? Well, serotonin is what gives you the love of yourself, the feel good, the ability to send a message to your brain that says to love yourself. Come on and go with me, y'all. To every single person whose gut is messed up because of what they're eating, your serotonin level is at jeopardy. And listen, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be no, I don't care what your husband or wife do for you. You won't be happy. You won't be emotionally stable. No. Your mood, you're going to have mood swings. Serotonin is going to affect your appetite. Either it's going to make it, you're going to either eat a lot or you're not going to eat enough. But here's the thing. Serotonin also affects your emotions. Oh my God. See, this is why some people are always sad. What are these main emotions that you have? Happy, sad, fearful, angry. You know why a lot of people are angry? Because their gut is messed up. They're angry because the serotonin, they're not producing enough serotonin. And as a result, they're angry. Because again, serotonin makes you happy. Serotonin puts you in a good mood. Serotonin gives you confidence so you're not fearful. You ain't scared to do this or that. You're not scared to do something risky with your career. You're not scared to take the next step in your life. Because your gut is healthy, because you're eating the right foods. And your gut is producing serotonin, which gives you the confidence and the joy and the happiness and the feel good that Yah wants you to have. How can you rejoice when when Yah has created your gut to produce serotonin, but we messing it up by what we're eating? No. See, emotions are natural. How many people have been in a relationship or you're in a relationship with an emotionally healthy person? Well, you know why they're not healthy? Because their gut is not healthy. And their gut is not producing the feel good emotions. You see how that works? Therefore, you don't have the confidence. You always need your parents' opinion. You always need somebody to validate your life. You're wishy-washy. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? You don't have the confidence to make a decision and stick with it. And then watch this and work hard to achieve it. Because one of the emotions, watch this now. Let me pull this out. One of the emotions is, what is it? Excitement. You're not excited about doing the things that you love. How come you're not excited about doing the things you love? This is a problem. This is a serious problem. Babe, what are people who where you say they're socially awkward? Or Asperger's? Hold on. They call it a syndrome, don't they? Poor social interactions. Listen, guys, all Asperger's is gut issues. I'm gonna tell you right now. You talk to a person who has Asperger's, talk to them about what they're eating. All Asperger's is not being able to display the right emotions and actions at the right appropriate time. Unhealthy behavior and actions at the wrong time. That's Asperger's. Not able to set limits on facial expressions. How come you can't show the right emotion at the right time? All it is a gut issue. Listen, you can clean up Asperger's and they don't have to be on. What kind of medication do people take when they're on Asperger's? Probably some psychedelic. Do you know what they? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, this is very interesting. Okay, so, oh my God. Look at this. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this with you. Look at this, guys. There aren't any drugs approved by FDA to specifically treat Asperger's or autism spectrum disorders. Some medications, though, can help with related symptoms. See, all the allopathic these doctors can do is deal with symptoms. They don't get to the root problem. Look at this. Watch this. Like depression. We just talked about that's one of the emotions. Anxiety is one of the emotions. Your doctor may prescribe some of these. Watch this. SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Oh my God. All you need to do, family, is get your gut microbiota in check because of the foods that you'll eat. I guarantee you change your diet, you can get rid of Asperger's. I'm going on limb. You change the diet of someone who's on the autism spectrum, you get rid of autism. I'm gonna go on the record. I'm on the record. Because what they're doing, y'all, is these doctors are prescribing the selective serotonin. We know that serotonin is produced by the gut. If serotonin is what you need, that means the gut is not producing it. If the gut is not producing it, that means there's a gut issue. How do you fix the gut? Diet. If you cleanse the gut so that's producing serotonin, guess what? It's going to deal with anxiety. Now you're confident. Come on and go with me here. It's gonna cure depression because now you have joy. Listen, Yah has fearfully and wonderfully made you to eat the fruit that will keep your body functioning the way it's designed to, so that these doctors can stop, watch this, so that you can stop paying doctors to manage your sickness and disease. Hallelujah. Come on and go with me here. And instead of spending your money on medications, phony artificial medications, you can spend your money on the true medicating, healing powers of fruit and herbs. Come on and go with me here, y'all. Oh my goodness. What did look, David said, he said, hey man, he said, hey, yo, check this out. My substance was hid from me. And he said, I was wonderfully made. Oh my gosh. Marvelous are thy works. Psalm 139:14. And that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from you. That means Yah knew what he was doing. Listen, you don't get the gut being produced or developing first from evolution, macroevolution. How does that, I mean, come on now. Oh, by chance this happened? Really? Come on, evolutionists, where you at? Where you at, atheists? What argument you got for that? That's your argument, you an atheist? So your argument is this. Well, our body systems, they developed by chance. That means, do I got one? That means, you just flip a coin. What are the chances? What are the likelihood that our bodily functions, all 13 systems, would work perfectly? And the foods that we eat could determine how they work. All that happened by chance. What's the probability of that, atheist? Huh? See, it's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous to be an atheist and to think that all of this happened by chance, by the roll of a dice. That's even more ludicrous than believing it by faith. You got faith in the dice. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm going in tonight. Oh, look at this. I should have started up here. Look at, oh my. Look at verse 13. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. He says, you have possessed my reins. Oh, goodness. The kidneys, physical organ, literally, the seat of emotions and affections. What is that? Gut. Come on, y'all. Listen. Oh. He says, you have possessed my gut. The seat of our emotions come from the gut, y'all. That's why people say, go with your gut feeling. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go, family. I thought I was at home. It's late. I ain't gonna get home to 10, 11 blessings. Blessings, blessings, blessings. I love y'all. I'm just trying to set an example and show y'all that you don't have to trust in these allopathic doctors that I've just shown and proved that this woman who said we can eat meat is a lie. She's a lie. I just showed you that our stomach, the pH level is not even hot enough to break down meats, guys. I just showed you what happens as a result of eating meats or dairy products. Acidosis, which is going to send bacteria, which is going to cause you to have all kinds of health problems. Look at the word, just keep confirming itself. Now, if you want to talk about oh man, I could go in on the kidneys and the liver and the pancreas. All of those work together with the lymphatic system. Oh, I don't have time. Any questions? Any questions, guys? All right, blessings. Shalom. We'll be back next week.